Hope these questions are clear to you. Pronunciation. Let's read the question. Choose the words which have the F sound and write them in the space provided. You are given a set of words here. You have to pronounce these words and you have to circle or choose the words which contain an F sound. So now let's read each of these words one by one. The first one, how do you read this word? You read this as photo. So it has an F sound, right? What about the next word? How do you read this? These are the sounds of the words given here. The second word has the sound cot. It does not have an F sound. Now the third word, you read this word as sphinx. How do you read it? Sphinx. What do you mean by sphinx? Sphinx is an imaginary creature in the Egyptian mythology which has the head of a human or an animal and has the body of a lion. So it has an F sound. Now let's look at the rest of the words. The fourth one here, how do you read this? You read this word as trough. How do you read it? Trough. You draw water from a well using a trough. The next word, how do you read this? Nephew. How do you read this? Nephew. So these two words have an F sound. Next word, how do you read this word? Shepherd. Let's read it once again. Shepherd. It does not have an F sound. Now, the next word. How do you read this word? What is the sound of this word? You read this as graph. Again, graph. The next word. How do you read this? The sound is phrase. Phrase. So these two words have an F sound. Next word is B-O-U-G-H-T. How do you read this? You read this as bot. It does not have an F sound. Now the next word here is, how do you read this? Paragraph. Again, paragraph. It has an F sound. The next word here is thought. The next one is laughter. How do you read it? Laughter. So the words paragraph and laughter have F sounds in it. So let's circle the words which have an F sound. The words are photo, sphinx, trough, nephew, graph, phrase, paragraph and laughter. Hope this is clear to you. Now, let's move on to the next set of questions. Punctuation. What do you mean by punctuation? Marks such as comma, full stop, quotes, etc. that you use in writing to make the sentence clear or meaningful is called punctuation. And in the exercise that follows here, you are asked to put commas correctly. So let's see when and where to use a comma. Let's see some of the rules here. You use a comma to tell the reader when or where to pause the sentence. So when you are reading something, a comma tells you when or where to stop or to make a pause. There are a few rules for using comma. Let's see some of them. A comma is used to separate two or more items in a sentence. Look at this example here. I love traveling, photography and writing stories. So here there are more than two items. Traveling is one item, photography is another item and writing stories is a third item. So you separate traveling and photography by inserting a comma in between, and the word and, the joining word and separates the other two items from this. So you don't have to put a comma here, but here you insert a comma. Now use comma to separate two or more names or numbers in a sentence. See, Veena, Meera and Hema are cousins. Here you can see two or more names, Veena and Meena. To separate the names, you use a comma in between them. And here 12, 15, 18 and 27 are multiples of 3. Here there are more than 2 numbers. So use a comma between each number to separate them. Now use comma between the month's date and a year. There are different ways you can write the date. When you write the date like this, the month comes first, the date comes second and the year comes the third. So when you write the date in this way, after the date you insert the comma to separate the year. Hope this is clear to you. Now use comma before the quoted words of the speaker. So when someone is speaking, when you write it, you always use quotes to indicate the words said by the speaker. So Meera said, I will drink coffee. So here the speaker is Meera and what she says is quoted here. It's given between quotes. You see these marks here? These are called quotes. So when you are reading something that a speaker says, you use a comma right before the quoted words. Look at this example. Tom commanded, stand up. The speaker is Tom and he says, or the quoted words here is stand up. So before the quoted words, use a comma. Now let's move on to the questions. Put commas in these sentences correctly. I am bringing biscuits, chocolates and a cake. So there are different items here. So let's use comma to separate the different items here. I am bringing biscuits, chocolates. So there are 2 items. Let's insert a comma between biscuits and chocolates to separate them. So it is I am bringing biscuits, chocolates and a cake. You see, when you insert a comma, there is a pause. When you read it, you have to pause. Now, let's see the next question. She is good at dancing, singing and painting. Here, there are more than 2 items. She is good at dancing, singing and painting. So, where to pause when you read it? Let's separate the items here. So, it is she is good at dancing, singing and painting. Now, the third question. Mother bought potatoes, tomatoes, onions and brinjals from the market. So, there are more than 2 items. Let's separate each of them by inserting commas in between. Mother bought potatoes, comma, tomatoes, comma, onions and brinjals from the market. Since there is an and between onions and brinjals, no need of inserting comma in between them. Now, question number 4. The teacher asked Ankit, Sumit, Priya and Saima to do the activity. So, you see there are more than 2 names. So, let's insert comma to separate the names. Ankit, comma, Sumit, comma and let's read the sentence once again. The teacher asked Ankit, Sumit, Priya and Saima to do the activity. See how we pause when you insert the comma in between? Now, let's look at the 5th question. Write the numerals 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 in your notebooks. So, there are more than 2 numbers or numerals here. So, let's see how we can insert comma here. Write the numerals 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So, let's read this sentence once again. Write the numerals 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 in your notebooks. Now, the last question. Keep your books, pencils, rulers and erasers in the box. So, there are different items here. Let's see how we can insert comma here. Keep your books, 1 item, pencils, another one, rulers and erasers. So, let's read this sentence once again. Keep your books, pencils, rulers and erasers in the box. Hope you are clear with this. I'm sure all of you have used a dictionary. Now, how words are arranged in the dictionary? In a dictionary, the words are arranged in alphabetical order. Now, how do you arrange the words in alphabetical order? To arrange the words in alphabetical order, you have to look at the first letter of each word. You have some examples here. Apple, biscuit, dog, mango, teacher. Look at the first letter of each of these words. Apple, first letter is A. Biscuit, the first letter is B. So in the dictionary, which word would come first? Which letter comes first, A or B? Letter A comes first in the alphabet, right? So apple, the word apple will come first in the dictionary. So biscuit, the first letter is B. Dog, first letter is D. The first letter here is B. Here it is D. Which comes first, B or D? B comes first. So in the dictionary, you will find biscuit before dog. Now what happens if the first letter is the same? So when you have words, when you're arranging words with the same first letter, you have to look for the second letter. Look at the words here. Cap, clear, cook, crab. In all these words, the first letter is the same, the letter C. So how do you arrange them in alphabetical order? You have to look for the second letter. Here cap and clear. The second letter here is A. Here it is L. Which comes first? A. So in the dictionary, cap should come before clear. Similarly, here it is L. Here the second letter is O. Which comes first? L. So in the dictionary, clear comes before cook. Similarly, since O comes before R, cook comes before crab in the dictionary. Like in the previous two cases, if the first letter and the second letters are also the same, you look for the third letter and it goes on like that. So this way you can arrange different words in alphabetical order, and in your workbook page number 23, you can see this question. Number the words in each set in alphabetical order, and you can see a 6 set of words there. You have to compare the first or second or third letters accordingly, and you have to number which word comes first, which word comes second. So you have to number them like 1, 2, 3 and so on. You can do this as an activity today. Now in the next page, page number 24, you can see this question there. Writing. Visiting a place is always exciting. You see a lot of new things and meet different people. Write about a trip which you and your family will always remember. You have to write, as a hint it is given, name of the place, why you will always remember that trip, good food, sights to see, festival celebrated, history. So you are given some hints also here. You think of any trip that you have gone with your family or friends, and think about where you went and what all did you see there, and what all food you ate there, what all you saw there, and were there any festivals that you celebrated, and were there any important events that happened on that day. You think of all this and you have to write that in a paragraph in the space provided below in page number 24. So this is an activity for you. In page number 21, we can see this question. Circle the odd word in each group. The first question here, minutes are second now. What do you think is the odd word here? Minutes are second. All these are units of time, right? But the word now here refers to a time point. So I think the odd one here is the word now. Similarly, you have to look at the next set of questions and you have to circle the word which you think is the odd one among the set. So this is also an activity for you. So in page number 20, you can see this vocabulary. Complete this word verb with words related to travel. You are given a picture like this and the word travel is given in the middle. Think of some words that is related to travel and you have to find out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 words related to travel. You have to write in these boxes provided here. So children, please complete all the activities. Go through the chapter and the exercise once again. Once you are done with the activity, please upload it through Teams. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Until then, bye.